Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fiberista Files. Today is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2014. I'm your host Heather, also known as Boutros Babe on Ravelry and Plurk, and Fiberista Files on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the shop at shop.highlandhandmaids.com, and of course the podcast at thefiberistafiles.com. If this is the first time you've ever joined me, hi, I hope you enjoy, and if you have come back yet again for another dose of me, bless you. I'm not sure how long this episode is going to be because I'm not feeling well today. It's a bit of a stomach bug. I'm not really sure what's going on. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more concise. We'll see. Also, before I begin today, I want to... you don't print a retraction on a video podcast to state a retraction. I messed up. On the book review that I did last episode, the 45 mitered squares, I incorrectly said that that was a Cooperative Press book. And the reason I said that is because the woman who sent it to me for review also is the person who sends me the Cooperative Press titles for review. And I, like a dummy, made the assumption that it was from the same place, from the same person, but she apparently works for other companies as well. So it was actually put out by Blue Cabin Press, and I'm not sure if that's the author's self-publishing company. Sorry about that. Or if that's a company I just haven't heard of, but 45 Miter Squares is not actually a Cooperative Press book, so don't look for it at the Cooperative Press website. Sorry. You can, I think, get to it just by Googling 45 mitered squares. Excuse me, on Ravelry, and it should take you right there. This week's book review is Mystic Shawls by Anna Dalvi, and that is a Cooperative Press book. I double-checked. And thank you very much to Elizabeth GM who gave me the heads up on that one because that was a goof, and I'm sorry. Okay. Before I go any further, I just do want to say hello to Emily, my buddy who I run for. If you are a runner and you're interested in giving your miles a little bit of a purpose, check out the website Who I Run For, the number 4, Who I Run, the number 4.com for more information, or check out I Run For, FOR, Siblings on Facebook, which is the group I'm a part of. So, hey Emily. Okay. Knitting. Now, it's been a little while since I spoke to you last, and I have accomplished some knitting. In fact, I've finished not 1, not 2, but 3 things. One of them I don't have to show you, but it will be in pictures, I think, and it's on my Ravelry progress page if it's not, and the other 2 I do have here. So, I finished this monster. This is the monster that I've been working on for a little while. The pattern is Wild Thing by Susan Claudino. I'm sorry, he has fuzz on him from when I stuffed him. Apologize. He is knit out of Highland Handmaids green ash worsted in the, I can never remember if it's North or South Brother. I think it's North Brother colorway, which I made my, a Rain Lover Knits Designs hat out of. Wayfarer? Why does that not sound right? Wayward, the Wayward hat. I knew it had a way in it. This is just leftovers. And the face, hands, and feet, claws, toes, and horns are all from a hand-spun single of a dark Icelandic fleece that I had. You can see his eyes are a little bit too far apart. He's a little dopey looking. He was meant to be a gift, and I'm not sure, honestly, if he's worthy of gifting. He might be a little too special. So if he ends up, I'll ask the mom of the person who might get this and see, and if she thinks it's a little weird, I can do another one. I also did a miniature version of him. The miniature version is about this big and was done with fingering weight yarn on a US 0 needle, which I don't recommend because it killed my fingers. But that one went as a birthday gift, so I don't have it here to show you, but it was adorable. I used the same size eyes on this little wee face, and so he was just like this the whole time, and it was pretty cute. Pretty cute. And I have it from the child's mother that they have not put, sorry, it's really loud, that they've not put the toy down, so Mission accomplished. That design is knit bottom up. You make the legs, the arms, the claws, the ears, and the horns all before making the body, and they're attached using sort of like a 3-needle bind off sort of way, which in the front, sorry if you can hear my chair, that's kind of annoying, huh? Looks like it's just knit on, but on the back you can see right here there's like a little purl ridge, which makes them a little bit floppier. I don't know, I think it's awful cute. Okay. The other thing I finished is my Endless Rainbow shawl. What is that pink fuzz I can see on the computer? Oh no, it's a stain. That'll teach me to drink. Pink drink. When I should be not doing near my knit things. So, sorry, this is the Endless Rainbow shawl. It is a pattern by Martina Bem. Now, you can tell this, I mean, it's more than it's probably just about my wingspan. So it's, I'm 5'9", so it's about 69 inches long. And that's not super long for a shawl, especially a Martina Bem shawl. It does have the 33 triangles. So you know when as a knitter you read the gauge information and you go to you think to yourself, I don't need this. This is a shawl. I don't got to worry about gauge. Pshaw. Well, it's one thing when you look at the gauge that's listed on the pattern and you decide not to follow it or do a swatch. It's another thing when you totally don't even look at it and somehow think that it's going to not matter, because Martina herself knit this pattern on a US 2 needle, which is what I knitted on. But Martina Bem gets 5.75 stitches to the inch on a US 2, and I get more than 8. So this shawl became much smaller than the one in the picture on the pattern because hers was a much more looser area fabric. I should have gone up to at least a size 4, if not a size 5, to knit this. Lesson learned. You can see it fits. I can wear it. It will be nice and cozy underneath my charcoal gray pea coat this winter. I will be a shop sample in my booth at Stitches East in October, and my retreat Highlands on the Fly also in October, and all of the shows going forward. And on a mannequin, it really doesn't have to be that big, but I was a little sad I couldn't wear it as artfully as Martina Bem did because I didn't pay attention to the gauge. Knitter fail. Hashtag fail. But I really did enjoy this pattern. It gives you just enough interest to not be boring, but is plain and simple enough for it to be an easy car knit. And that's where I knit probably 90% of this was in the car, in the passenger seat, while my husband and I were driving across the state for various and sundry adventures. It was easy. It was fun. I blocked it. I wove in all the ends. I am good. Good to go. The only end I didn't weave in was that one little knot that I have right there, but that's on the back and I don't care. So I finished 3 things this week. Well, since the last podcast, and that makes me very excited. I am still working on my Clown in the Closet socks, which I just noticed Jelby is knitting the same pattern. It's not really like my pattern. I wrote what I did in my project page, and anybody can do it. It's not copyrighted or anything, please. But it's a fun little effect, and it breaks up the monotony of stockinette stripy socks, which is what I'm doing them on, and that's really fun. I also am working on a shawl design, but that's baby beginning stages. That'll be 6 months probably before I'm even ready to show you that. Sorry, I'm cracking my knuckles. That's a bad habit. And I finished a design for Mary Gale of Spartacus Dyes, who's doing a club. I'm not sure when I can talk about that, so you will see that when I get the go-ahead from Mary Gale. So that's a super fun little useful thing that you could do with half skeins or mini skeins of worsted weight yarn. But it's clever. And I'll give you that. Clever's in the title. Okay, and that will be a for sale pattern once I get the rights back to that. So, spinning, I have been working on my loop bat, and I'm going to not show you again this week, sorry. It's on my wheel, and I don't want to take it off to show you. It's hard to see a lot of the colors anyway. I've gone through charcoal brown and pumpkin orange. I transferred it into a saffron yellow, and now I'm in mint. I still have chartreuse and olive green to go, so, and probably half of the mint. So I've got about 2.5 colors left to go, so about halfway done. I am really, really enjoying that. It is very well prepared, and some clever things, very subtle things like the sparkle that's in it. The Angelina matches the color of the section, so the mint has a greenish Angelina, the brown had brownish, reddish, and so the sparkle changes color as the fiber does, and I think that's really clever. I really like that a lot. So I'm enjoying that. Once I'm done that, remember, I get to spin my Rolags from Keegan Lane Yarns, so I'm ready to do that, but I haven't gotten to that yet. And of course, I still have to apply my Polworth, which has been sitting right here since I told you about it months ago, and I have not yet done that. Here's the thing. I've been doing a lot of running because it's summer and I love running. It's my favorite thing, exercise-wise, to do. But I cannot run and then spin on my spinning wheel. Because of some poor biomechanics in my knee, spinning puts a lot of pressure on my left kneecap, and running is bad enough on that left kneecap. So really, I can only spin for a few minutes before my legs just starts to really, really scream at me. So it's a little bit every day or every other day, and I'm doing the best I can, and it will get done when it gets done. I will probably be keeping this skein. It will not go in the shop. I do have some hand spun in the shop, though, so check it out. Okay, that leaves dye pots. Dye pots have been a little quiet lately. I finished dyeing a large order for Little Skein and the Big Wool, which is the last of the monster colorways. And so while that's been cooking, I have been doing some bat carding and Rolag making. So here's a bat that just went into the shop today. It is called La Mer, which is French for the sea. It is a sea blend of blue, aqua, green, navy, foam, a whole bunch of colors. There's silk and silk noir in noir, I don't know how to say that, in the bat as well, and it is 100 grams exactly. Ooh, get in there. So that's in the shop, and I have several sets of Rolags, but I'm going to show you two. This one is Trick and Treat for those of you who are in a harvest autumn state of mind. To those of you who've been having the pumpkin stuff at Dunkin' Donuts, this is the finger of no. The other day I was in the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru and I was like, yes, I would like my medium iced coffee with skim milk and caramel swirl, please, which is the same coffee I get all the time. And the little chipper girl on the intercom was like, we've got pumpkin. Would you like pumpkin? And I was like, no, I don't want pumpkin. No, at the time, it's August. And I'm not ready for fall. We had the longest, worst winter ever last winter, and I'm really not ready to get back to that. So the finger of no was shaking. No pumpkin, no, none of it. And then yesterday I saw a flock of Canadian geese on somebody's lawn. They've already started migrating. Are you kidding me? I can't even. Moving on. Along with the sea ocean style, I also did this one, which is called Seascapes. It's darker than the bat. It has much more green and purple in it. It does have some sparkle in there. You can see it right there. Navy, green, bright blue, regular blue, purple, phlox, violet, silvery gray green, dark teal green, leaf green, all sorts of fun colors. And the poonies are usually about 2 ounces. This is 54 grams. And the Trick and Treat is 48 grams. So those are all in the shop for purchase now. Now I'm going to attempt, and I say attempt because I do not know if it will happen. I'm going to attempt to do a bat and a set of Rolags every day from now until Stitches East, which is October 10th through the 12th. Whatever I do every day will get put in the shop. Whatever doesn't sell will go with me to Stitches. I do not believe that they will all sell. And that's okay. They don't all have to sell to you guys. But part of that's because I want to get more into the habit of doing it. Part of that's because I'm kind of starting to get into a groove with what my style is for Rolags and bats as far as colors and organization and sparkle amount and all of that, because every dyer is different. And part of that is because when the yarn is dying, I tend to sit on my butt and look at Pinterest. And this is a way to not do that. So keep an eye on that in the shop. I also have some merino and black dyed Tussa silk blend fiber going to go up in the shop soon. And it's the superwash merino silk fiber as well. Keep tuned. I haven't been doing a regular update every day at the same time, whatever. Mostly because I find that whenever I pick a day and a time, I discover that other dyers are doing the same day or time, and I don't want to step on their toes, and I don't want them to step on my toes. It's not intentional, but I feel like it's kind of rude. So I've been kind of throwing things around and doing them when I get a chance, or when I've noticed nobody's posted for a little while that they've got an update and things like that. So just keep an eye out. The best thing is to just check out shop.highlandhandmaids.com. I do post updates everywhere on social media that I'm on. Twitter, Facebook, Highland Handmaids has a page on Facebook, Ravelry in my Highland Handmaids Ravelry group, Instagram, Plurk, you name it. I try to post when I've got an update so that you guys are aware. But the best thing to do is just really to check. So that's that. So growth and processes. Growth really is the bats and the Rolags. I've been, like I said, trying to do that. I have also updated my wholesale information. So in my wholesale packets that I send to yarn store owners upon their request, I give both a rundown on all of my different bases that I have for sale, as well as my pricing and the information about what my order minimums are, how I take payment, when they can expect the yarn, those sorts of things. So I have all of that, and I hadn't updated it in a while, and it was pretty out of date. So I spent the morning, Tuesday morning, I parked my butt in this chair and I didn't move until lunchtime, until it was all done. I'd emptied my inbox and just caught up on all of that paperwork that is so problematic for people who run their own business. It felt good to get it all done. I hope to start relationships with these two new local yarn stores. One's in Michigan, one's in Maine. And I will keep you guys updated. If you have a local yarn store that likes to stock indies, let them know. Tell them about me. I have a fun project, which I'll talk about next podcast, that's going to galvanize you guys into becoming, I don't want to say an army, that's an incorrect term, active participants in Highland Handmaids growth. It's not difficult or, highly involved, but I think it's going to be fun. So, and you have a chance to win cool stuff, so that'll be cool. Speaking of winning stuff, the Highland Handmaids side of the Endless Rainbow Knit Along is closed because I said that we were going to do that through Labor Day. I have not yet drawn prizes for that, but I will. I've got to put everybody in a hat first, so that will be drawn next podcast. So everybody who has posted their finished Endless Rainbow shawl before today, September 3rd at 4:02 p.m. Eastern, will be entered into that drawing. There were quite a few, and I loved every single one of them. One person did a black as the main color, and the accent color is like a bright neon blend of colors, and it was amazing. If I were going to do it again, I would do it with a dark, solid color for the body, I think. All right, grabby hands this week is the book review, Mystic Shawls by Anna Dalvi. If you've watched this before, you know that I do a pretty thorough job with my reviews. So I hope you will stick around for that, because if you've been looking at this thinking, I don't know if I can do that, you should stick around. You should really see the stuff that Anna Dalvi has come up with for these shawls. So I guess since I've been umming constantly, I will say goodbye for now. I hope to see you very soon. And until then, happy spinning and knitting, and thanks for tuning in. Okay, time for the review. This review is for the book Mystic Shawls, written by Anna Dalvi and published by Cooperative Press. The first thing you should know about Mystic Shawls is that the collection of shawls in this in this book are all previous knit-alongs hosted by designer Anna Dalvi. There are 14 shawls in this collection, and they all start with the word mystic. So if you have heard maybe of Anna Dalvi's designs before, but you weren't sure which shawl that you'd heard the name of, they're probably all here. Just like most Cooperative Press titles, the table of contents is hyperlinked, so if there's one particular shawl you wanted to look at, you could click on it and go right to the pattern. This review is not going to show all of them. I am going to show you some of the different shawls and constructions and things like that. The first shawl pattern in the book is the Mystic Water Shawl, which is the first shawl she had the cowl for. This is a picture of it, and then there's an explanation prior to the beginning of the shawl as well, and it talks about how the shawl is designed using motifs that show water in its various forms. The Mystic Fire Shawl shows fire in its various forms. That they all of these shawls have lace motifs that deal with the name of the shawl itself. Here's another picture of the shawl. It's one of the better shawl pictures, I think, in this book. Now, here's one of the problems I have with this book. These charts are tight, meaning the motifs and the lines are very close together. This is something that you either have to use highlighter tape or highlighters to go through, or use your PDF expert. But the other problem is that almost all of the charts are sideways. So if you have a Kindle or an e-reader or an iPad that auto-rotates, it's going to be really hard for you to read through the lines of the pattern. My suggestion, honestly, would be to print out the pertinent pages of the charts and highlight each row as you go. I don't have a suggestion for how to make it better. These shawls are all charted, not written out, and you not only have to know how to read charts, but you have to be able to read pretty cramped charts in order to do these shawls. That's not to say that it's not worth the effort, just that because these shawls are very large and very intricate, it's difficult to get really user-friendly charts. If you have poor eyesight or things like that, these charts are going to be even harder. Of course, with your iPad or whatnot, you can zoom them in, but Mystic Meadows is a rectangular stole and has various floral motifs, including the last section, which I think is covered in butterflies. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is rectangular. It's a long rectangle, so the charts are not triangular in shape. They're roughly an even number of stitches, so they're a little bit easier, I think, to understand. You can see this is the chart. Well, maybe that's not easier to understand, but at least it's got the same number of stitches on each row. The Mystic Star Shawl, which is a shawl on the cover, draws its inspiration from stars in the night sky, and it is a circular shawl, so it's a little bit different from the triangular and rectangular shawls that were previously shown. The Mystic Roses shawl is somewhat triangular. It's actually 3 triangles that are knit. You can see right here where you start in the center, and there's actually 3 triangular sections that are knit. This is knit out of Volmaza lace. So one skein, and it doesn't even use the whole thing. It's an interesting construction. The roses are not terribly delicate or feminine, so I think it's usable and wearable. even though I personally am not a big fan of roses or flower motifs in lace. It's a pretty delightful construction shawl. Here's another photo of the shawl, and you can see there are rose motifs here at the bottom. Mystic Air is a square shawl, which, as you can imagine, draws its inspiration from the air. Here's another picture of it. I think you can see that, the squareness of the shawl down there in the bottom. This one I think is my favorite, just for the dramatic effect of the lace motifs used. This is the Mystic Embers shawl, and you can see it's a very open network of lace designs. Mystic Embers is a rectangular stole. There is patterning on both right and wrong side rows, so it is a little bit more of an advanced pattern, but I think you can agree that the effect is beautiful. I really love this shawl. Here's another picture of it all laid out. The Mystic Midsummer shawl is another different construction. It's a crescent-shaped shawl. It's a very long, narrow shawl. And you actually cast on with the cable cast on with yarn held double at the bottom and knit up. There are two versions. One is deeper than the other. And here is the modeled shot. Here's the shawl that was used in the model shot. You can see it's very narrow, but also very long. I like Mystic Fire because it has two options. It has the standard triangular option, which you can see here at the bottom of the page. And it also has a 3-section variation of the shawl, which makes it almost like the one that used a volumized lace, the rose one, where it's almost a 3-sided triangular shawl, which is a shape that makes it sit on your shoulders better. Mystic Delight is a triangular shawl. What makes this one different is that it uses colors. This one uses 2 colors, the red edging and then red lines through it, but there are also versions that have with each of these lace sections as a different coordinating color. You can see here, down here in the Mystic Delight shawl, there's a coral, a rose, and almost a grape color. Back of the book, there are the standard abbreviations. These are worth reading because they are specific to this book. Just because you know what M2 means in one book doesn't mean you know what it is for this one. So definitely check those out. There's a lot of lace stuff here. It also gives you the symbol guide and special symbols. There are special symbols. Mystic Desire, Mystic Embers, and Mystic Earth all have specific symbols to that shawl, so worth keeping an eye out. So does Mystic Light, Mystic Meadows, Mystic Midsummer Wreath, Mystic Roses, and Mystic Star. So then there's About Anna and About Cooperative Press, which is on the back cover. This is obviously not a beginner lace book. There's not any background about lace. There's not any written directions, so you can't double check. If you're not sure what the pattern says, you can't check with the written, if you're not sure what the chart says, you can't check in the written pattern directions. This is for experienced lace knitters. If you have enjoyed Anna Dalvi's patterns in the past, or if you are comfortable with your skill as a lace knitter, I do recommend this book. These shawls are beautiful and they're all large. They're definitely big enough to drape comfortably around your body. If you are comfortable working from a pattern paper so that you can print out the charts and either blow them up, or if you've got PDF Expert and you can rotate the designs, the charts to make them in an orientation that makes sense to you, that will all help you with this book. This book is available as a Ravelry download. You can purchase it from Cooperative Press, or you can go to cooperativepress.com. And that's my review of Mystic Shawls by Anna Dalvi and published by Cooperative Press.